This episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. You know that one friend who always finds the best travel deals, picks the right cards, and somehow ends up in first class for the price of coach? How do they do that? Well, Smart Travel is like that friend, but in podcast form. They cover all things travel finance, like which travel cards earn their keep and which are just heavy, shiny metal, and planning group trips that won't ruin your budget or your friendships. So travel smarter and spend less. That's the key with help from NerdWallet. Follow Smart Travel wherever you get your podcasts. Armchair-Explorer is a part of the Voyescape podcast network. Check out all of their shows from around the world at voyescape.com. Hey guys, welcome to Armchair Explorer. My name's Aaron Millar. I am a travel writer and your host. And today I'm having a chat with another travel writer. I wanted this to be a little like two mates down the pub, couple of drinks in, talking about travel and adventure and going a little deep too, because that is what I usually end up doing after a few drinks when I'm hanging out, especially with someone that really shares our views about travel. And what I mean by that is travel that is about more than just seeing places. It's about connecting with people, learning things, and growing as a person in doing so. That's what today's guest is all about. So cheers, join us. Are you ready? Let's go. Our guest today is Daniel Scheffler, and as well as writing, he also hosts the Wayfinding podcast. Now, what first turned me onto his show, and we chat more about this in a second, is the name. Wayfinding is an ancient Polynesian term that describes a system of navigating the Pacific Ocean without a compass or GPS, of course, or anything like that. It involves instead a combination of knowledge passed down through generations, deep observation using all the senses, and ultimately, in my view anyway, something akin to intuition. That's exactly the kind of travel that Daniel's interested in and what his show is all about. It's beautifully produced, and if you like Armchair Explorer, I think you're going to like it too, so check it out. It's called Wayfinder Life-Changing Travel. And that's what we're going to do in this conversation too. We're going to wayfind our way through a variety of topics and adventures and just have a lot of fun, basically, swapping travel tales. Daniel kicks it off talking about the trip he'd just come back from. Literally a couple hours before we spoke, he jumped off the plane. So I hope you enjoy it. This is Wayfinding with Daniel Scheffler.
I was in Costa Rica, as you know. I just landed a few minutes ago. And I was like, why the fuck am I here? Like, I came for luxury resort work stuff, right? And I was like, no. I'm actually just not interested in any of this. And I found a bike and I just head out. And on my way out, there was this girl. She was on a hanging bridge and she was taking a photo and she dropped her phone. And of course, because I can't help myself, I walked by and I sassed her and then walked off. And she got her phone. It was perfectly fine. And then she came to find me in the world of Costa Rica, coastal Costa Rica. And she came to find me just to tell me that we are going to be friends and that her phone was fine. But she was like, I want to be friends with a human that does that.
Yeah.
And it made me reconnect to something that I've been really thinking about when I travel. I mean, Wayfinder, absolutely, the life-changing travel. I feel like that's the thing that I believe in, that if you want to be changed, you can, and it's accessible to anyone and everyone, no matter what's your travel. You could go down the street, you could fly to the Svalbard, like I'm doing next week, to go see puffins and polar bears. But you could also, it's like a way of seeing the world. But this human, she was funny, like yoga girl from California, quintessential Pilates, Ojai human, right? We just found ourselves, right? Like we were real and honest and complete. And I was reminded that travel allows you these spaces, right? Like what could have been friction was not. It was the opposite. It was like love and heart and kindness and a little giggle. And then that's why I travel.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm glad you started with that too, because I first of all, I wanted to say I really enjoy your podcast, Wayfinder, and I'm really jealous of the name as well. It's like such a super cool name. It's way cooler than the name of my podcast, Armchair-explorer. And I love what it, like the connotations behind it as well, because obviously there's this kind of Polynesian history with it too. But I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that, like the history of the term Wayfinder and why you decided to call the show that.
Wayfinder it does have quintessentially the thing that I believe in, right? That like travel is a mirror, right? It shows you the thing you need to see. Like it's all good and well if you want to travel for adventure. Like I went heli snowboarding and nearly died with some Olympians, right? Like the completely unprepared idiot from New York was like, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm ready. And my fellow crew, I was like, oh, so how long have you been training for this heli snowboarding situation? And everyone's like, well, I'm Lindsay Vaughn, so I've been training my whole life. And I was like, oh, okay, Lindsay.
I knew that. Yeah.
And other people were like, no, we've been training for like 3 years, every fucking minute of our lives. And I'm like, I sometimes snowboard in Telluride.
I went on that like snowboard video game a couple of times before it came. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've been high in an arcade in Newport, Rhode Island.
It translates.
Doing the snowboard.
Yeah, what happens up here translates. Yeah, it's all mental at the end of the day.
Well, actually, on my tiny plane this morning in Costa Rica from Liberia to San Jose, I was sitting right up with the pilot and I was looking at the screens and I was like, oh, please. I did Flight Simulator. I could totally fly this plane. Right. The delusion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If needs be, I can jump in just to let you know.
Yeah, please. I was ready. Actually, what was interesting on that tiny flight is, did you watch this? It was really quite terrible, but it was a Ryan Murphy show about John Kennedy and Carolyn Bessette.
No.
The show's not good, but there was this moment. He died in a plane crash. My father-in-law will always tell you, he left from this airport in New Jersey, close to our house. He tells that story no matter when. And actually on this tiny flight, the reason he died is that you feel like the plane is straight. So you look out into the sky and it's nighttime or it's dark or there's clouds and you think it's straight, but it's not. And actually, you're fully tilted because if you look at the instrument, you can see that the plane is actually like this. But the sensation is that you're flying straight and you look out the window and it feels straight. And that's what he did. And that's why he crashed. But I saw it happen. Luckily, my pilots were totally clued in. But that made me kind of think about the Wayfinder thing. It was like when I watched this, I was like, oh, it's not the thing you think it is, right? It is also this idea that like you think wayfinding is out there, but it's not. It's something else. And I guess that's what travel presents to me all the time.
Yeah. I kind of want to get into a couple of your specific adventures through your life and kind of share some stories as well. But I also, before we get going on that, I wanted to kind of quote you. You paraphrased Mae West, the singer and actress from the 30s, who said something like, good boys go to heaven, bad boys go everywhere. So I guess with like 140 plus countries, you're a very naughty boy indeed, first off. But like, what do you think that means? Like, I think that speaks to some of the sort of, I guess, hesitation that some people feel. Like they're like a lot of people that I talk to on this show and elsewhere, there's that sense of the like preordained route, the sort of 9 to 5, the mortgage, the career path, and there may be 1 or 2 holidays a year. And the idea of sort of breaking out of that mold and the sort of norms of modern life that are prescribed to us and that we grow up with, and then saying, actually, no, I don't necessarily want the focus of my life to be my career. I want it to be about, encountering different cultures and ideas and or exploring the world. Or maybe it's just, I want to save up and go away for 6 months and have an adventure. I think that can be hard to do. It can almost be like a bit of a rebellious act. And so that's what I took from it. But what do you take from that quote?
Yeah, I like that. That quote, I mean, she is a naughty, slutty girl. And I love that for her. I commend her. I mean, she's wild. She was a wild. If you read the stories about this woman, she was fucking bonkers, which I could relate.
Which is probably why you like her, yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. You know, that quote inspires me because I feel like I say yes to everything. I'm just like a yes person. I'm like, oh, I want to go see. I want to do. I want to taste. I want to feel. I want to do it. Even if it's hard. And sometimes it is hard. It's hard to see things that are like cultures that are not open to, I don't know, the gays, right? Like it's hard to do that and to travel, but I do it. I go and I experience and I feel. I mean, it's hard to go to Varanasi. They're burning bodies. It's not my culture, so it's not that I have a judgment for it. It's just hard to see it because my culture doesn't do it. I was just in Ghana, Benin, and Togo, and I went to some of the voodoo ceremonies. And look, man, I mean, it's hard. You're seeing something that people have such a deep, deep, deep belief in, and I don't. And you're watching what that complete faith does to people. So I think for me, that quote is about not like, I mean, I prefer to be a bad boy, of course, but it is about inspiring people. And I use that for my previous show, Everywhere, to get people to be like, just travel everywhere. Just go. It doesn't matter where. Go down to the next town. If you live in New Jersey and you have 2 weeks holiday, it's okay. Go try upstate. Or just go to like God-forsaken Amish country. In fact, I saw an Amish woman at the San Jose airport this morning and I was a bit like, how? What? How? Yeah. She was in full Amish. But anyway. Maybe she's on rump. She seemed too old for Rumpspringer, but whatever.
Rumpspringer. I love that word, by the way. Yeah, isn't it great? Just says it without having to say it. Go on a Rumpspringer.
Oh my God, it's amazing. My husband studied in Pennsylvania in a small town, and the Amish would come in and they would party. And he was like, they were the hardest partiers you could possibly imagine. And then they'd have to go back to their lives, I guess.
Doing shots with the Amish. Okay, yeah, college. I love that.
Yeah, we should travel to Amish country. Come on. They have great butter. They're churning it themselves. I think people think that travel means resort or travel means one thing. Like there's this idea of what travel should mean, right? It's like, I always think it's funny how gay male magazines always have like the hot guy with the Speedo and the 6-pack. And I'm like, gay men don't look like that, right? It's like, yes, some do. I mean, my husband, in fact, does. But
yeah, better drop that in before he listens to this later, right?
Right, exactly. Look, he does. He looks incredible. But most gay men don't look like that. And that's the beauty of gay men. We are everything and anything. And it's like we cannot be put in this one tiny bracket. But people put travel in that hole. And then they feel unfulfilled because they think, oh, I saw it on the magazine cover and I went and did this thing and it wasn't the way. And I felt nothing. Why? I don't understand why I feel nothing. But the point is that I think people travel in one way. They think they travel in a way that they're supposed to, and then it doesn't feel good and they don't understand why, so then they stop trying, right? But I think what I want people to do and what I want people to hear when they listen to my shows is to be like, yeah, don't do it the way you think you're supposed to. Go do it the other way, right? And the point is not to eliminate the uncomfort. The point is to welcome or be nice or be kind to the uncomfortability. That's where the growth sits. That's where the beauty is. That's where that magic of travel actually sits. So that's what that quote's about. That's about that, like, just go everywhere. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean far-flung, right? Far-flung's great, but if you have 2 weeks holiday, I don't know, just go up the street and see something new. Go and open your eyes up, right? Like, don't believe everything you see. Don't trust everything you think. Like, because it was funny, I met this woman yesterday at the airport this morning. I guess I don't know what time zone, and she was just telling me about Costa Rica. She was like, she had it worked out, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, you came and you conquered. How impressive! Like, she left no mystery. She was like, oh no, I worked it out. This is exactly how the country is, and that's, I think, the opposite of what I think people should do when they travel. Like, just allow that deep mystery to sort of take you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like your idea about travel at times making you feel uncomfortable, and because of that some people like pulling away from it. And I have this idea about culture shock too, like, you know, culture shock is a good thing, I think, you know, and people should experience it. And I don't know if you've had any moments of, you know, probably maybe in your earlier travels of that real culture shock, but for me it comes because so much of our communication is invisible, right? Like, even if you can't speak the language, if you're traveling somewhere relatively familiar, you can speak the body language, you understand the customs. But if you go somewhere like truly alien, you're sort of blind to all that as well, and you're vulnerable because of that. I mean, I've been in situations where, you know, traveling in Morocco, in Demnat, which is outside of Marrakesh, right in the foothills of the sort of Berber country, foothills of the Atlas. I was sort of hiking around with a Berber guy, but we're driving the car and he just suddenly stops because there's this festival Fantasia, which is like this traditional Berber festival, and they get on their horses and they sort of charge down this dusty field, and it's a competition between villages. And you know, this is a place where water is fairly scarce, but they wash their horses twice a day, to give you a sense of like how important it is to have this sort of bragging rights to win this. And the goal is to charge down this sort of dusty field and fire their guns in unison at one time. And this whole big kind of market had spread out around it, and I was, you know, definitely the only person not from this area there. And like, there's these incredible scents, but there's also like a goat being slaughtered, and you know, there's like this dichotomy maelstrom of senses. And to begin with, I was quite intimidated because I was like, what's going to happen to me here? You know, I'm sort of a bit uncomfortable. Everyone's looking at me. But then I think it's important to recognize that, you know what, just because I feel uncomfortable doesn't make this a dangerous place. It means that I haven't adjusted to this place yet. I'm a firm believer in like the world is generally a kind and welcoming place, you know. And so I think that, you know, that culture shock is a way into that sort of like reaching in deeper into a culture and yourself, and understanding that barrier is actually something that you can kind of sit with, and in sort of allowing it to be present, you can kind of move past it a little bit. But have you had any moments of like that where you felt really vulnerable and alien and had to kind of deal with it?
Yeah, I still feel that all the time, right? Even though I've been to all these places, it's like, gay Jew, off I go to Saudi. I mean, I'm like, yep, here I go. Yeah. I did pretend to be straight, and I got a whole new wardrobe. And of course I didn't mention my culture or my husband. I had a photo of a woman on my phone, but you know, people were so nice. People were so lovely. It was the best trip of my life. I enjoyed every minute of my time in Saudi Arabia.
I had a wonderful time there too, actually. Where did you go? I went to Alula, which was stunning.
Oh God, isn't it gorgeous? Yeah. I went sort of all over. Jeddah. I went to the Red Sea to see that whole new project. Oh yes. And I was in Riyadh and all that. You know, I find myself being in uncomfortable situations all the time. Then there's of course the incidents of like, you know, just fear, like actual fear, like getting bit by a scorpion in Angola, on the border of Angola and Namibia, and like a tribal leader saving my life, like sucking the poison out of me. I mean, I had like 3 minutes to live. Like, Jesus. That's the stuff where you're like, okay. This is the stuff that's really uncomfortable. Like, and yeah, I don't think I put myself in dangerous situations, although I did, you know, I have been hijacked, I have been carjacked, I have been stabbed.
Sounds mildly dangerous. I think you're flirting with it a little bit there, Daniel, to be honest.
Right. But yep, Colombia, there was a recent incident with my husband and a friend of ours from San Francisco, which, yep, careful which Uber you get into in Colombia.
Wow.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not drug trafficking, so I guess I'm not doing things that are terribly, terribly dangerous. And then there's also things like, you should go to Greenland and speak to the locals about eating whale. and killing whales. I think you should do it yourself. Like, I think everyone should just go and do it themselves and see how it really is. And then assess. Because it is uncomfortable, right? You go and they put it on the plate and you're like, ooh, I feel weird about this. But why do I feel weird? And then you kind of uncover it, right? So you can judge all that stuff all you want, but it's better to go put yourself in that uncomfortable situation and kind of realize and uncover this for yourself. Like the voodoo I was telling you, it's great to go. I mean, it really is one of the best things I've done in my life, is go and spend time with these humans and understand something that's not mine. And yes, it did feel uncomfortable because I am the only outsider coming into the inside. And it was, I mean, it's like a real privilege to be able to do that. But yeah, man, you just sit with that like, ooh, like I don't belong here, but I'm here. So what, like, how do I really feel? And how do I want to show up, right? Like, I want to be here and be respectful and be present and feel all the feelings.
Yeah. I think it'd be amazing to see a voodoo ceremony like at the source like that. I've seen one I participated in one in New Orleans, which was beautiful because it was, there's this music and swaying, and calling to the kind of African gods. And then there's like the spirit, the story behind it all to do with slavery and, keeping that tradition alive. So it's very different from that commercialization. So it is great to experience that. By the way, I love where you set your bar for danger. I don't do drug trafficking, so it's all fine. It's like,
it's not entirely true.
I'm just saying, man. I think you've escalated that bar quite high. I'm just gonna throw that out there in case it's helpful.
Right.
But I agree that what you're talking about a lot of time is these preconceptions that we might have when we go to a place or experience a place, and those preconceptions can kind of be a framework for how we see it. Alula in Saudi Arabia was a case in point for that. I think that the media portrays that country in a certain way. And not to go into any of the politics of it, but when you go to a place like that, or Iran, I've had loads of people on the show who talk about Iran. I haven't been, but I have a good Iranian friend who talk about Iran as like one of the most beautiful top 5 countries they've ever been, one of the most welcoming countries they've ever been. And certainly that's what I experienced in Saudi Arabia too, just like beautiful, wonderful people and a completely different experience to what I thought it would be. So I think there's something in like breaking down some of those preconceptions. I always try and say like there's a difference between people and politics, right? America is so messed up right now in terms of this like chasm between this political divide, and this isn't like a political show, so I don't want to get too far into that. Yeah, I mean everything's political, but I've had like experiences where I was in Tennessee, and then there's this like really cool bluegrass jam about an hour outside of Tennessee in this little country store. And you go there. And, it was amazing. Like I, welcomed in, they had to do this like kind of family style dinner where everyone had to hold hands and pray beforehand. It was like a completely different type of experience. And to be fair, all of those people are politically, no doubt, way different to me. But on a person to person level, we just connected because ultimately I do think that we all want to put our kids to bed at night, or we all want to, share a good meal. I think that's one of the beautiful things about travel too, is realizing these preconceptions and kind of like norms that we grow up with are not necessarily like set in stone. Like these are for you to discover. Like part of the journey of life is for you to build your own norms, your own views, and not just accept what you were given at birth, at your school, your country where you grew up. So I think that's really powerful. And you also spoke about fear. I mean, I'd love to hear the story about having venom sucked out of your leg. First of all,
it's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last time.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there's always some.
I mean, that must be scary. Like I've had some scary things, but I don't think I've ever had like the clock ticking on 3 minutes to live unless someone sucks the poison out of my leg.
Oh my god! It was just actually just it was a fucking nightmare. Let me tell you, this guy was like, was it this color? And I was like, I don't want to answer. I don't want to tell you. I
don't want that bad news. Yeah.
I just didn't want it.
Yeah.
It's so, it's interesting you say that, like, that chasm that you talk about. It's funny because it's like, how do we ever get back from the chasm? I guess travel. That's the solution, right? Like, we gotta just set out.
Mark Twain has this great quote, which I'm sure you know. It's like travel. It's something like travel is the antidote to bigotry and narrow-mindedness. And I feel like, if we could all just like, as part of our, growing up, if we could all just be plopped into a completely different culture and environment for a few hours just to experience that, I think it would probably change the world. Yeah.
Oh, you're so right. I mean, the sort of the obvious example is the Tennessee, the kind of, that like what's happening in America thing.
Yeah.
But there's also the other pieces of it, right? Like, you go on safari and you do that thing where you get sort of hidden from the real Africa. You're not doing, I mean, I absolutely don't think you should go do a township tour. I think it's super weird. So I don't mean that. I just mean really, really talk to people, and not just people you're tipping, and not just people you're paying, right? Like, talk to people. Like, that's the solution to all of it. Like, yes, the wine is incredible.
Yeah.
And like, of course, safari is incredible. Safari is one of the best things you'll do in your whole life. But the other thing that South Africa, or Africa, but let's call it my home country, will give you is a better understanding of yourself, because you'll understand why, there's this divide in the world, why there is a struggle, the things that Nelson Mandela fought for, the thing that the Rainbow Nation, South Africa, promised and couldn't quite deliver on. South Africa is uncomfortable. Like, that's maybe what I wanted to say. Like, going there, if you're sensitive and if you're in touch with yourself, you will find that uncomfortability. And when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean it in a negative sense. I mean it in like, that country is so ready to help you work through some of your shit because it's working through its shit. And that is the magic of it.
I love that as well, this idea of having the difficult conversations. I think that's really good advice. Be curious, open yourself up, have an open mind, but don't just have like the fluffy conversations, have some difficult conversations too, like really dig into this. And I think people do respond when you're genuinely curious about their life and the deeper aspects of their life, and not just the surface level piece. But I do also want to kind of try and give people a sense of that wild Africa as well. I think that I really haven't been to Africa enough. I have been to South Africa, and obviously went to like Kruger and experienced some of that. But you grew up with that. I think you said like going on safari was like your weekend thing, like going into the bush. So I wonder, like, take me back. That must have been a really formative time for you, and like in terms of where you've ended up now, and travel writing being your life. But take me back to one of those early memories, waking up in the bush, maybe a blanket around you, heading out into the wild. What's that like? What's a memory that stays with you?
Yeah, my childhood in South Africa, suburban Pretoria, Johannesburg, it's that sound, and then like, it's the sprinkler. It's the sprinklers of suburbia.
The sound of suburbia. I love that.
Right, like
that's hilarious.
But okay, let me think about a memory of the bush. There's something in the soil. There's something about that blood in the soil, right? Like it's the birth of who we are. Like, it starts in Africa, right? And you feel that when you're there. You sort of see that blood. You see that existence of all of humanity sits there. And then if you think about all that history, the Khoisan people that were there, the black tribes that came from all over Africa down south, and the Zulu people, the Xhosa people, like all those different tribes. I speak Northern Sotho because I grew up in Pretoria. And, you sort of start to then you look at all this history, then the Dutch came, then the French, the British, then, like Nelson Mandela, like Charlize Theron. I just keep reminding people about when people say negative things about South Africa because of Elon, I'm just like, oh, but Charlize Theron, isn't she gorgeous? I just want them to have that memory. And, you sort of look at this country and you feel it when you sit, like in the bush, you wake up early because some of the best game drives are early, right? And you get that wake up bell. There's this wake up hello, good morning, and you sort of stumble out, and there's a little fire, and then you're getting a cup of coffee, and you're sort of not awake, and the light is just starting to lift. And you're hearing animals, and there's this sort of sense of thrill and excitement about what's coming, right? Like the animals are waking up, and you sort of get onto that game vehicle, half asleep, and you're sort of grumbling, and you put too many blankets, but, and then you sit and you just feel that air, and you drive out, and then the first thing you see is a giraffe just like in its weirdness, right? And it's like the length that's weirdness.
How did evolution do that?
What? What do you? And, the stillness is part of what's so important. It's like the only time I don't have a phone, right? Like you're just in that stillness and you're sort of in the present moment, right? There's a sense of, it's not dangerous, but you are with dangerous animals. So you're sort of being respectful of that moment and sort of holding yourself to a higher esteem and just letting that sort of relationship between you and the wilderness, you're letting it sort of lap against you. Yeah. So the memories are like, my favorite time. I was just on safari with a friend in Zambia. It was my 40th birthday. And she was like, let's skip tea time. Let's go back to the camp. And I was like, oh, no, Gail. That is the best part of the game drive. You get off, you hop off, and you go and take a bush pee. And then you get like a cup of coffee and you stand just under the African sun, like watching, thinking like an animal could come. I don't know. It's just that it feels so raw.
Yeah.
As I sit here, I can feel the gravel, pebbles under my feet, that smell of the earth. You could watch the rain coming. And just, someone told me this once, but I've kind of taken it onto myself. It's like, it's not tangible. It's really essence feel. Right? Like, and if you sit with that essence feel and you travel like that everywhere you go, not just South Africa, like that's the piece that I think is most valuable. Like if you sit with that feeling, like you don't need to verbalize it. You don't need to write it down or write it, like create a crayon sketch of it. You just need to sit with essence feel. Like it's a little bit inside you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's it.
I love that moment too. I remember, something similar where they kind of park up and you have a moment and just feeling like drawn to walk out. They're talking about this connection to the that we all have these ancient roots to Africa. I think they call it the mother, right? It's the mother of all of us.
Oh, yes.
And just this idea, like I just had this sort of sense of like, I'm just going to walk out and just be one with it. And then my guide was like, no, you're not. There's lions out there,
Stop.
Yeah. But I had that feeling and it was such a beautiful feeling. You described that really, really well. And I didn't experience this, but I had this great guest on a few weeks ago called Peter Allison. He's a safari guide. He's hilarious. He tells a story about a leopard smelling his underwear that will have you laughing at your socks. But he has experienced it because he lived out there and he was a guide. And he was actually on a beer run, right? So he was in the, their sort of bar tent area and he had to go to the storage area and it was night and he went there and got like a 6-pack of beer or something like that. And he heard the rustling in the, in the leaves by him and he stopped and the kind of lion walked out in the path and looked at him and sort of mock charged him or just kind of leapt towards him. And you don't run. Like the last thing you do in that situation is run, right? Because it triggers their instincts. So you have to stay still. And I asked him, like, what does that feel like? Because in that moment, you are safe on a safari as a visitor, as a guest. But in that moment, when you're on an equal footing, you aren't the alpha predator. You're not going to be able to fight off that lion unless you had a gun or something like that. What does it feel like to do that? And obviously it's terrifying, but I think like somehow getting that proximity to wild animals, like hopefully less proximity, does give you, I don't know, it's like kind of a nice humility, a nice sort of humbling experience of like, we just sort of walk around with this assumption and arrogance that we're the top of the food chain. But actually, if you strip us away of all our clever toys and inventions, we're not,
We're silly.
But I don't know. He didn't even drop the beer, so he did well. But I think that I know, what a pro, right? But I don't know. Is there something in that for you too? Like when you hear those lions call at night, or you watch that leopard prowl, do you get something of that as well?
No, it's primal. You tap into a primalness. It's like pre-evolution. It taps back into some of that stuff, and you bring it up, and that's the stuff that I think there's wisdom there. Like the rishis, the 7,000-year-old wisdom in India, right? Like they talk a lot about this stuff. It's about like peeling back those layers and kind of going back and sort of seeing what it undoes and uncovers for you. It's funny when you said that, I was thinking like, yes, sometimes when I'm at the top of a building, I thought that was called vertigo, but I guess it's not. It's like the sensation you want to jump.
Or you could.
Is that vertigo?
Yeah, like that's all it would take. I don't know if it's vertigo, but it is something bizarre, right? I've had that too.
But Africa's like that. You feel like you just want to walk out. Like I want to be part of all this. Like I just want to jump off this fucking thing. Like it doesn't matter what. Like I belong here. I need to feel this. I need to be part of the soil. Like swallow me. Like chew me. Spit me out. I am good with all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, mate, this has been absolutely amazing. You've done so many incredible things we didn't have time, of course, to touch upon. So I encourage people to go check out your Substack as well, because you write on that regularly, and there's lots of incredible articles and your other writing. And of course, your show, Wayfinder, is wonderful. People need to go and check that out. We'll have links to all of this in the show notes too. But I mean, I don't know, do you have any... like someone listening now that's thinking perhaps in that way of, I don't know if I could do it. This sounds great, but I don't know if I could do it.
Of course, stay in my armchair?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, that's the ironic thing about armchair-explorer. It's like you can listen in your armchair, but then you got to get out and be the explorer.
Yeah, come on.
So
listen here, go out there. I like it. No,
I always think like, what would you say to that person? Like money is obviously a real thing, and not everyone can do those big things. And you mentioned about doing the smaller things, but in terms of the spirit to get out there, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, of course, money aside, like all that, I get it. Money, time, like impetus, all that, I fully understand. But it's about having, we talked about the preconceived ideas, right? So let that stuff go. Don't worry about the maps. Don't worry about all that stuff. But it's about a way of wanting to be a better version of yourself, right? Travel is the ticket. That's the thing. If you want to be a better version of you, travel is an easy way to do it. Like a mirror is going to be held up, and you're going to be able to see yourself more clearly. But maybe the trick is just talk to people and they'll show you yourself. Like that's the piece of the travel. Like, don't you want to be a better human? I think we all want that for whatever reason. You want to be more fulfilled, happier, all that. And travel gives you all of that if you let it. Yeah. But you have to just let that mirror come up, and then you got to look nice and closely and let it feel. And sometimes it feels so good, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, it feels good. And then other times it just feels so awful and hard and difficult. And that's where the growth is.
Yeah, it might not be cheaper than therapy, but it's a lot more fun.
But you can go to therapy too. Do all of it. Anything that helps. Anything that makes you not speak on your speakerphone in public, or cut your nails on the airplane, or any of the things that you should be doing at home. If it helps for you to behave better, then please do it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, listen, Daniel, this has been amazing to have you on. It's been such a wonderful conversation.
So great.
And again, we'll put the notes for the Substack, great stuff up there, and Wayfinder podcast as well. So, mate, thank you. Happy travels. I hope to see you on the road sometime.
I would love that.
Thank you, Daniel. Great chat, mate. I look forward to following more of your adventures. And if you want to do that too, you can sign up to his Substack. That's a great way to do it. It's called Without Maps. And of course, go and check out that podcast too. It's called Wayfinder, Life-Changing Travel. It's on iHeartRadio, and I really think you'll like it, so check it out. You can also, while you're at it, cheeky shout out from me, if you have 30 seconds and are so inclined, hit that follow button to this show. And if you haven't already, maybe leave a cheeky 5-star review or pass on the episode to a friend who you think needs a bit of wayfinding inspiration in their life too. And that is important, guys, because remember, the more we look for wonder in the world, the more the wonder of the world becomes a part of who we are. Dare to be truly alive. Armchair Explorer is produced by Armchair Productions. Find our other shows at armchair-productions.com. Charles Tyree does the audio editing and production, and I write and present the show. I'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Pauline Fromer, host of the Fromers Travel Podcast. We post new episodes weekly, detailing the kinds of money-saving tips and cultural insights that will make your trips richer without making you significantly poorer. We do so by interviewing real travel experts like TV host Samantha Brown, Fromers authors from around the globe, and such public figures as Free Solo's Alex Honnold. It's a fun travel party. I hope you can join us.
Hi, I'm Mike Siegel, host of the Travel Tales podcast, and I'm a stand-up comedian who's been touring the world for years. And when I'm not traveling for work, I'm traveling for fun. And when I'm not traveling at all, I'm talking with friends, influencers, expats, and other people from all walks of life about the thing I'm most passionate about, travel. So if you want to hear a fun conversation about travel and maybe even learn a few things along the way, check out the Travel Tales podcast with Mike Siegel, wherever you get your podcasts.
Close your eyes for a second. You're not at home, you're somewhere else, and you can hear it. This is the Winging It Travel podcast, and I'm James Hammond, recording my travels as they happen, capturing real moments, real places, and the sounds that make each journey unforgettable. From immersive soundscape episodes to conversations with locals and travelers.
My name is Tishanam, and this is a Buddhist nuns college, so I'm in 6th year.
This podcast is about travel as it actually feels, and not how it's sold. If you crave honest stories, unplanned moments, and adventures beyond the guidebook, put your headphones on and let's wing it. Search for Winging It Travel Podcast on any podcast app.